Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is April Whitlock. I am the CEO of Fundanoodle and also ambassador number one, first person to really take the leap of faith on our ambassador program. This is kind of take two. Hopefully, we'll get our technology issues taken care of tonight. But I wanted to go live to personally answer any questions that you may have about the ambassador program, about what it means, what it stands for, how to get involved, as well as wanted to be able to kind of share our story and tell you firsthand a little bit about the product. So a lot of you may be joining us tonight or watching this call, watching this live later, who are already having conversations with one of our ambassadors across the country. And that's great. And they can answer any questions that you have about the program and about getting involved. But I wanted to be able to kind of give you a firsthand background of about Fundanoodle and how we got here and what the ambassador program is all about. So if folks are joining, I've seen some of you guys, just be sure you can sign in. Definitely want to let us know that you joined us and give your name and where you're located. And if some of our existing ambassadors are going to be joining us tonight, they can sign in as well and leave a comment. So that if you are just finding Fundanoodle and the ambassador program for the first time tonight, then you can take a look at the comments and see if there's an ambassador near you. Now, the good news is that the odds of there being an ambassador near you might be pretty small because the program's only about 16 months old. We launched the ambassador program in February of 2016, so we're about 6 months in to this endeavor, and really excited about the feedback that we're getting across the country from folks who have jumped in and taken that first leap of faith. Now, the cool thing about the ambassador program is that even though it is new, the Fundanoodle products are not new. They have been in the marketplace for about the last 7 years. What is Fundanoodle? So let's talk about this a little bit. So Fundanoodle is a lot of fun, first of all. It's an early education, let me get just to kind of show you, I mean, we are fun. We're all about fun and about kids and about learning. So it's an early education product line. All of our products were designed in partnership with pediatric occupational therapists and elementary educators. So the goal for our products is to make sure that we're giving parents and caregivers and teachers tools to help children from about 2.5 to probably about 6, depending on developmental milestones. But these tools combine the best of occupational therapy, so learning how to use your hands and your fingers, building up the strength in the hands, working on visual perception, hand-eye coordination. We take the best of that world and we pair it up with the best of early education. What does a child need to learn to get ready to go to the classroom? What are the basic steps to learning their letters, learning their numbers, learning how to write their letters and their numbers, all the way up to learning how to write stories with those things. So we take those two components, and they're the basis of everything we do, and we build products around making sure that we're giving little learners an experience with both of those. So we are just kind of going to see kind of in our catalog, we have a plethora of different products and activities, and I have some with me. A combination of handbooks, handwriting and activity books, as well as manipulatives. Everything is colorful and well designed, very well made, heavy duty activities that cannot be destroyed by children but just can be loved and engaged with them. So that's what the Fundanoodle product's all about. What we were originally designed 6 years ago, I actually just shared something with our ambassador group today that I started working as the product director on this brand 6 years ago today. And I knew there was something special about what we had developed and what had been created. But the problem was what we kept running into was how to get it to market. Was it an educational toy that you or educational tool that you needed to sell to schools for the teachers to use? Or was it more like an educational toy or resource that a parent needed at home? It was originally designed to be sold at retail, so to sit on a shelf and a mom to find it, whether she heard about it from a friend, but for a mom to kind of find it on her own and start using it. And we quickly learned after being in Target and Toys R Us and other specialty stores around the country that if a parent knew what they needed, if they had a child that was in OT, or a child that might struggle with handwriting, and they had been working with an OT or working with a teacher, and they knew the kind of tools they needed, and they found our stuff, they grabbed it up because it was so well priced and so well made, and it was fun and colorful. But if it was just an average mom just kind of looking on the shelves, you would see a box that had like maybe a board like this and these magnet pieces, and you would think, what do I need those for? Why do I need these magnets? Little did the mom know that these magnets become a problem-solving activity when we give them to our children and let them figure out how to make the letters. It becomes an opportunity to build hand strength and visual cues when we teach them these heavy-duty magnets how to take them off and move them around and manipulate them. So pretty early on when I took over the line, I thought pretty sure that we needed to be a different model, that retail wasn't going to be what was going to work for us. I remember I had somebody tell me that within the first 6 months I was working on this, I told them that this was a home party model, that we needed to be able to give the end user, the mom or the dad or the teacher or the caregiver, we needed to give them an opportunity to touch and feel what we were doing and not just look at it on a shelf. So fast forward a couple of years and figuring that out, and the company that I worked for figuring that out, and they said, you know what? You're right. This isn't retail. This isn't going to work at retail. We were starting to see some success here in Charlotte. We're based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we were starting to see some success in schools finding us and pulling us into pre-K classrooms and daycares and preschools around the community. And so the company was like, you know what? This isn't retail. We're a retail company, but you've got something. You're fine. There's something here. There's a volume. There's an opportunity. And on the other hand, I can't even tell you, countless emails and Facebook posts and stories of people who found our products and were just overwhelmed by the impact they had on their own little learner, whether that little learner was struggling or whether that little learner just wanted something fun to do at home, and they found some of our tools and they were able to tell me, you know what, my child picks the I Can Pound kit over going on the iPad. And I had so many of these positive stories and feedback that I knew that the product wasn't the issue. We have an amazing product. It is so well made. It is so well designed. It works for kids across the developmental spectrum, wherever you are. If you have a child who's dyslexic or on the autism spectrum, or maybe struggling with sensory disorders, all of those things, our products work great. You may have a child who is developing and meeting their milestones and they hate handwriting. Our products work great for them. Or you may have a child that loves to write and loves to do things, and they're just really plugging along, and they're going to love working on these products too. So it really works kind of across the board. So I was given the opportunity a little over about 2.5 years ago to buy the company and to roll it off as my own, and I jumped at that opportunity. I knew that we weren't going to be in retail very long, and that was one of the things I probably dragged my feet a little too much. I should have done it faster in terms of pulling us out of Toys R Us and pulling us out of retail. But I knew that we would be really successful with at home. We'd be successful in a homeschool environment, and we'd be successful in schools. But it was how do you get to them? School distribution is a bear. I mean, it's a nightmare sometimes to sell into large school systems. But we were getting into schools because I was talking to kindergarten teachers who were like, I need that for Johnny. Johnny needs this. And we're so well priced that she could go to her PTA and say, you know what, I need some funds. Or she might pull it out of her own pocket to get that tool for Johnny. And then another teacher would see it and say, where did you get that? And they'd hand her my card and I'd get the call. And so I kept hearing in my head, April, remember you talked about this home party model? Remember how you were saying this is what you wanted to do? And I finally said, and after the first year, I was like, you know what? We need to test this out. We need to figure out if this is the right way to get the product out to the people who need it and to the consumers. So that's why I jokingly or not so jokingly call myself ambassador number one, because for about 4 months, I put myself in the shoes of an ambassador, and I worked it here locally, and I did vendor fairs, and I set up booths at teacher conferences, and I cold called preschools in my area, and I had held play dates. And again, didn't know they were going to be called play dates when I did it. I just thought, man, if I'm going to have people come to my house, they should bring their kids, right? Because their kids are the ones that's going to use it. So sure, bring your kids, let them play with all the stuff here at my house. And you know what? You're so going to buy that pounding kit before you leave, or your kid's going to pitch a fit because they love it so much. So I was like, okay, this works. This is something that this is a way to get hyper local and to get the product in front of the people who really need it and want it. So we put together a test pilot program in 2015 and had about 15 people across the country kind of raise their hand and said, you know what, I'll test this out with you. And we just literally, that saying, we threw spaghetti on the wall. We were like, okay, let's test every model. Let's test, you have to buy inventory. Let's test, you don't have to buy inventory. You just do play dates. Let's test some online stuff. Let's test this. And we tested and tested and tested to the point where it was probably a little overwhelming for most people because only 2 of those people are still with us, and God love them. But we figured out pretty quickly the different components and the different ways that this would work. So then it was pretty much like, okay, put the brakes on, let's stop, and let's relaunch this company. And let's make an investment in doing it right. So let's get software that gives all of our ambassadors a customized website that they can use online. Let's develop new marketing materials that are colorful and really represent who we are and what we do. And let's really spend some time putting together information, taking this 6 years of data that we had and figuring out how to put it together so we can support ambassadors launching. And so we started and held our breath, and people started signing up. And if you are one of the, and there's several of you folks I know that's online here and have signed in that are part of our founding group that took that leap of faith within our first year, and I will always be grateful for you. But at this point, I forgot to do a state count right before we started, but we're right at the 150 mark for ambassadors in our first 16 months. And I'm really happy with that because we know we're not for everybody. That's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, is because this isn't it isn't your typical direct sales for a lot of reasons. Number one, nobody in your market probably knows who we are. You may be the first person to bring this. So you're not coming in with something that people have already heard of from a lot of places. Number two, there are less than 5 probably direct sell companies that I would consider anywhere close to us. There's one out, there's Usborne Books, which everybody kind of knows. There's Discovery Toys. There's another one, Simply Fun, that does games. And then there's us. And there's very little out there that's deep, and we're really the only ones that are hyper local on education and on early education for young learners, because we really focus on that young group. So we're figuring out a lot of stuff as we go along too, because we don't fit in a lot of the molds. For example, you can't just create a Facebook group and start selling this. It just doesn't work unless you have a really good blog already and a great following, and you're a teacher or an OT. It might work for you, but we are still in the stage of you've got to be interaction face to face, whether it's one-on-one or our play date or going and setting up at a vendor fair or meeting teachers during their breaks at the preschool and letting them feel the product. That's really what you need to do when you start. So I'm just being straight up honest with you guys. I don't want anybody to sign up and think they're just going to, start killing it with Instagram and Facebook. But that's just not how we, how our piece. But we definitely are actively looking for people who want to be a part of a ground floor opportunity, who really understand what it's like to be entrepreneurial. And even if you're bringing, and especially if you're bringing a significant amount of direct sales experience to the table, just know that we're a young company. We are strappy, and we have a lot of resources for as small as we are. But we're also learning as we go. And the cool thing about it is that you get to be a part of that process. And if you have a great idea, I don't think I've ever said no to someone when they're like, hey, I want to try this. And the ambassadors things that people have tried have turned out to be really great new ideas. We have Nicole down in Louisiana has started to do these meetup groups, and she's got this place and it's awesome, and she sets up these stations and she advertises it on Meetup and it's free, and she invites these parents to come in and say, hey, I'm going to teach you some things to do with your child. I'm going to teach you how to teach them how to cut. And it's okay because these scissors, look, these scissors are so awesome, and they're not going to do anything to hurt your child, but they're going to cut paper. And so I'm going to teach you how to teach your child how to cut today. And she's building a following in Louisiana because of that. And now I'm watching other ambassadors across the country pick up her idea and start hosting these workshops for parents to introduce the product and to sell it. So we have a lot of really great ways to get you started. We have a really good plan about, let's think about who you are from a personality standpoint and where you should go. But once you get started, then where you want to take this business is totally up to you. I have some people that are hosting handwriting camps this summer and are doing, I have some people that have started a tutoring business using the products as a basis. And then we have, on the flip side, we have people that are just doing the traditional. They're killing it with play dates every month, 2, 3, 4 play dates that they're having. So maybe they'll do 1 or 2 online and the rest of them in person. So the cool thing is that it's totally and completely flexible and up to you, how you want to do this. So I'm going to stop for a second and kind of just look around and make sure, and if there's anything, if there's an urgent question that I missed kind of going through this, and I can't figure out how to scroll back up here, you guys let me know because I can't see all of them for some reason. But, if you want to ask some questions, make sure you just kind of like throw that in as we go. And I know you guys are I know my ambassador peeps are helping me out there. You guys are answering some stuff. So a couple things just to let you know, get you started. So we have 2 different kits. One kit is what we call our senior ambassador kit. It's $175, and it is one of everything. It's one of every of our core products that we have, as well as coming with catalogs and order forms. We have another kit, our junior ambassador kit, that's $115, and it is a great sampling. And there's plenty of ambassadors out there who are just doing a great job that started with that junior kit. So those are the 2 levels to get you in. And as soon as you join, you get immediate access to set up your customized website and immediate access to a closed Facebook group that is a wealth of knowledge and support. This has been an experiment in women supporting women like I have never been a part of in my life, and it amazes me on a daily basis how much information is shared among this group and support from each other. The only other ongoing commitment is that monthly website fee. It's $15 a month, and your first 30 days is free. And that's really it. We don't have monthly quotas. We don't have annual quotas. It's really up to you how you want to build this business. When you get started, you start immediately making 20% commission on everything that you sell. And once you hit $1,500 in lifetime personal volume, whether that takes you 1 month or 3 months or a year, but once you get to that point, then you bump up to 25% commission. And when you hit that, you never can go backwards. You're never, demoted away. And you move to our first promotion from junior ambassador to ambassador. At any time, you can start building your team and start bringing folks on. And I'm not going to get into all the details. It's all on our website. Just go to fundanoodle.com/ambassador, and you can see the commission plan, how you start getting your downline bonuses. You can see the fast start plan. Our fast start plan is tied to your first 90 days, and really with that goal of $500 in personal volume a month. That's really kind of the sweet spot goal for hitting bonuses and doing things. And the fast start plan is all tied to giving you product credits, because the one thing I've seen over and over again is the faster you can build up inventory, the faster you can have product on hand to give to people or to sell to people, the quicker you'll build up your customer base. So we do a lot of things tied to product credits and giving people an opportunity to earn product credits. We do all kinds of fun monthly incentives. One of our most popular ones, and this kind of going on as other ones, we have our Fundanoodle Yeti, and we like to give it away with all kinds of cool gift cards inside of it. And we have already done our very first annual conference. It was held this past February here in Charlotte, our Fiesta, and it was a huge success and just amazing the leadership that has come out of that group. And we already have our second one scheduled for the first weekend of February 2018 back here in Charlotte. And the founders are, today I even saw, working hard on material and training and content. And it's going to be a great event as well. So I'm excited that we are able to offer you guys that. So even though we're young and small, we still have a lot of cool things that we're doing. I'll check and see if anybody has any specific questions. Hey, Tiffany from Michigan. I'm so glad that you've joined us. I think there's a couple folks from Michigan on. We do have, we're not in all 50 states yet. We definitely have some pockets where we are strong. But here in Charlotte, we have a good number of ambassadors around this area, and they're all doing great. There is still so much untapped potential. Like, for example, one of our executive ambassadors, Catherine Heckscher, who was one of our very first ambassadors, is based here in Charlotte, but she just spent the week visiting family up in Greensboro, which is about an hour away, and called on preschools and had meetings with preschool directors while she was there, because there's so much open opportunity, here from that. So, couple other things just to show you some samples. So, about our books. So this is my daughter's. I took it out of her church bag, so you'll see it is well loved and used, and I think it's all done, but it's so cool. I wanted to show you this. Even though it's done, she still uses the back. So she's done all the activities, but then she flips it over and does artwork on the back. So it lasts for lots of church services. It works really well in the church bag. But this is like the green level. She's going into first grade. So this is our, for 5-6-year-olds, K1 level. And this is our Max and Alfie Adventures book. And we have a Max and Alfie Adventures book at every level. And it's a great tool. Right now, all the ambassadors are talking to folks about using it for your summer vacation travel. It's great on the plane. But just to show you, all of our books are top-bound spiral. And that's important because we want them to lay flat. So when a child opens them up, they're going to lay flat. Whether they work with their left hand or their right hand, they're not going to have to press a binder down. All of our books have a heavier cardboard cover. That's because we want a child to work wherever they want to work. Do they want to work on a plane? Do they want to work on a train? Do they want to work at a desk? Do they want to work on their bed? We want them to be able to do that. And then as you can see here, all of our books have a sticker reward system. So I think they're all gone here, which is good. But they look like this. So all of them have a sticker reward. So there's a couple cool things about the sticker reward system. Number one, kids love stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? Number two, who doesn't love getting a reward? Number three, there's a visual perception exercise. They have to figure out, there was a circle there with the dog, and they have to go back to the back of the page, they have to flip to the back of the book and find that circle and dog again. And then there's there's a visual exercise, a cognitive exercise, and then there's the fine motor exercise of peeling it off and putting it on. And that's what I mean about the intuitive way that we went through the thought process of designing everything. So everything has a point and a reason. But all the books are 40 activities, whether it's our math books or our activity books, that get progressively harder. So this book, one of the reasons it's so well loved is because when she first started using it, she could only get about 4 or 5 pages in, and then she would get frustrated. And not, whether she couldn't read it or she couldn't understand the instructions. So that's when I had her start coloring on the back and doing things. And then we'd put it away for a while and we'd bring it back when she was ready to do more. The core of our program is working on letter and number formation. And so all of our handwriting books, again, are top-bound spiral, but we go to a landscape format. And the cool thing is we have all kinds of instructions for the caregiver or the teacher. But then we use action words. We have our buddy Max, our Max the monkey. He's involved in everything. And if you go and we're updating our app, but we do have an iPad app. And if you go and download the iPad app, you'll hear Max's voice. And he's a kid because we want a child to feel comfortable. And so if they're listening, who's the instructor here? The instructor is Max. You might think it's going to be Alfie, the trainer. But no, Alfie's the encourager. Alfie's down here at the bottom, saying, I love it, or nice job. But the one giving the instructions is Max, who's like the kid. And you'll see that we use a lot of action words. So straight lines are zips, diagonals are zooms, curves are buzzes, and you hop across the page. And we're introducing the letters easiest to write to hardest to write. So when a child starts writing, lowercase, they're going to master uppercase before they go to lowercase. But when they start, they're starting with L. And how easy is that? It's just zip down. And they're going to get so confident learning how to keep that L in the box, learning where to start and stop that L. And they're going to get so much great confidence that when they start moving on, and by the time they get to W, which is really hard, they'll have built up their confidence and be stronger in doing that. So just a couple examples of the books. Yes, we do, Michelle, we have several ambassadors in Ohio. And the cool thing about, because Ohio has been a good place, I think Summer, Heather, I don't know the geography off the top of my head, but because we have ambassadors in Ohio, they've been able to work together. And that's one of the cool things about being a young company. So Summer and Heather worked together and they just did the Ohio Occupational Therapy Conference. So it was a big 3-day conference that would have been really hard for one ambassador to do by herself. And since they're all still working on building out their teams, they partnered up together, even though they're separate, equal founding ambassadors, and worked together on that. And I will say Team Ohio does rule because they came to Fiesta with their own shirts. And I just still love that, and I've been so happy about that. But yeah, there's advantages to being the first in your state because you're the first in your state, and there's also advantages to joining when there might be 3 or 4 people already there, because we've seen the teamwork. For example, Heather, who is in Ohio, has taken the lead on coordinating teams to work together for all the great school conferences next year, because we did several of the great homeschool conferences, and they were extremely successful for everyone who did them. The Ohio team did one too. I know the North Carolina, South Carolina team did one here. The Iowa team did one together. And so the teams are working together to figure out, okay, let's get the lowest rate we can on the exhibits by getting different teams to sign up for different ones. So there's all kinds of great partnership opportunities that happened there. So that is a great question. Thanks. And there. Any other questions for me, or any of my ambassador folks want to tell me I might have missed something here? I know the one thing that I have missed is we very rarely discount our enrollment kits, because I used to when we first got started, and then we had a rash of people join because they realized what a great deal the ambassador kit was to get all of our products. And they're the kidnappers of the world, and then like 2 months later they disappeared and they terminated. And as happy as I am that they have their product for their own little learner or maybe their classroom, they're not the kind of people that's going to help us build this business, right? So I kind of made a conscious decision a couple months ago that we weren't going to discount the enrollment kits, that we were going to do different recruiting incentives based on product credits and different things like that. But the very first live we did last June was so successful. And the way I look at this is that if you've taken the time to join us tonight, or you've taken the time to watch this video, then you deserve a discount. So, but it's a short one, and I don't have my little paper like I did last time. But if you join us before Sunday, as long as your enrollment date, which will be time stamped, joins us on June 19th, between now and June 19th, we will refund $50 off of the senior enrollment kit. There's no discount on the junior one, but we will take off $50. But you have to enroll between right now and Sunday to do that. And then you have to have commented down here in the comments, because I'm going to go look in the comments when they come through, and when customer service lets me know, hey, we had somebody join, I'm going to come down here and look in the comments and see if you were here, because I can't tell if you viewed it, but I can tell if you commented here. So if you comment, and we can see your comment here, and you joined us, and even and I can I think it even tells me like at what time you commented, so that's great. But if you're here tonight, you're watching this, you took the time to join us, you're commenting and letting us know you're there, then I want to be able to give you a discount, and it'll be a refund. Like, you'll go ahead and sign up, and then we'll refund your credit card, that $50. So all my current ambassadors, get out there. I'll stay talking for a little bit longer if you want me to. Get on the phone, get on the text, make sure your people are getting on this, because this one I'm just doing for the live. The last one, it was not quite it wasn't as big of a discount, and as long as people watched it, we let them go. But this one, I'm going off the live here, because we are awesome and we are doing such great things. And let me tell you, June gets a little slow, which is a great time to join and get your feet underneath you. But July gets insane, because teachers are like, okay, starting to think about school again, and I'm ready to go, and I know what my budget's going to be. A lot of schools get new budgets July 1st. So if you have any interest in building your business by calling on preschools or daycares or schools, they start really July, August, crazy town. So this is a good time to join. It's also a good time to join this summer. Last year, this is only our second summer going through this. And last summer I was like, is it going to be really slow? Like, how bad is this going to be? And it was crazy to me how well everybody was doing with their play dates, because moms were like, what? You've got something I can do with my kids? Like, seriously? There's something else I can do that's not an iPad? And oh my God, thank you so much. And oh yes, I will host a play date as long as it's inside, because God forbid it's 120 degrees outside and I want to do something inside. So summer's awesome. You would think it might be a little slow because we're an education toy, but it's really not. So I want to do this, incentive right now, and make sure that you guys know this, that you can get signed up. Save $50, which gets it almost to founder cost. Like, the lowest it's ever been was 100, or maybe right about, I don't remember. You guys have to tell me. But it gets it pretty low. But again, you have to have commented here. You have to have commented live on this, commented live that you watch this. And then when you join, if you join between now and June 19th, we will refund $50 off the cost of your kit. So because if you're here and joining us, then you've already been talking to an ambassador, or you've been following us enough along that you've got some serious interest in what we're doing. Couple questions that I sometimes get, and so I'll kind of make sure. Oh, good. That's fine. You can, and if you're an ambassador and you know somebody, you can comment on their behalf if you know they couldn't join tonight. That's fine, Crystal. Couple questions we get. I kind of said in the beginning, but our products are really hyper focused on preschool through first grade. And the reason we do that is because from that 2.5 to that 6.5 year, that's when the brain is wired to really work on developing motor skills, and really wired to build hand strength and build risk control and all that good stuff. So that's why we stay there. Now, we do have one book, and I don't have it with me right here in my stash, but we have a cursive handwriting book that goes up into 2nd grade, and we have lots of schools that use that book as their curriculum because it's very easy and intuitive. And when I worked with the teachers and the OTs to design that book a couple years ago, I wanted it to be able to hand it to a second half of 2nd grade or first half of 3rd grade child who was interested in learning cursive, and that they could just do it on their own, that you didn't need tons of training, and that it was intuitive. And that's exactly how it is. It's great. We sell out of those books at homeschool conferences because parents are actively looking, for something. And like I said, we have lots of teachers that use them because they don't have the time in their day to teach handwriting or to teach cursive. But this fits into those blocks of downtime with the kids that they might be grabbing a book to read, and you can give them this. So it's a great opportunity. We, at this time, our product map focus is really on extending our offering and our core. making sure that we don't have a lot of math manipulatives right now, so bringing a lot more math into play, really focusing on our sensory writing. We do want to build up more around the cursive piece, so some cursive manipulatives. But at this time and in the foreseeable future, we are going to stay really focused on where we are. Now, we do know that our products translate for older kids if they might be struggling with a specific issue. But at this, where we live is where we live right now, and that I'm not going to say that's going to be the same 10 years from now or even 5 years from now, but I definitely know for at least the next 2 years, there's so much we want to do, and there's so many ideas that we have that we're going, to have to jump on that. This is one thing that this is a good to tell you guys. So this month, this is our I Can Do Fun Activities floor pad, and it's BOGO this month. It's buy one get one free, which is a huge deal. This is $16.99, and it's one of my favorite products. If you want to know more about it, you can go to our YouTube channel, or you can look on our Facebook page at the live I did last week with my daughter Kaylin, who is 6 and still loves this book. Like today, I'm going to tell you a Kaylin story. Today I said, okay, it's time for your 30 minutes of work, and it's no screen with the 30 minutes of work. So you can read for 30 minutes, or you can pull out some of your Fundanoodle books. So I go back to her desk. She's doing this. I'm like, you're 6. That's for 3-year-olds. She's like, but I love it. And then she like gives me sass because she goes back. Yeah, I just pulled on it. She goes back to this page, and she started doing it and then started making shapes and telling me what shape she was making. And I was like, okay, so you figured out how as a 6-year-old to make a product that was designed for a 2.5 to 4-year-old fun for you. And that's what these products do. I get page after page after page of Facebook posts from our ambassadors who are like, I have to buy a whole nother set of supplies because my kids have used everything. They love it. And I love hearing that. But the floor pad's awesome. We want them, get them on the floor to work the core, or you can put this up on an easel. You can see lots of cool ideas about how folks have used it, but that'll give you an idea. We do try to do a consumer incentive every month. Doesn't come out of your pocket, comes out of ours. So this is buy one, get one, and it's been a great way for our ambassadors to really promote that product this month. So any other questions? I don't want to keep running on just to keep talking. Everybody goes, I can keep talking. That's not ever an issue or a problem. But I don't need to if I don't want to. I was going to see if there's anything else I wanted to show you guys that kind of came up. I would definitely, if you're just kind of finding us tonight, I would definitely encourage you to look at our YouTube channel. There are some great testimonials from some of our founders, ambassadors, about why they're doing this and why they're in this. On our Facebook page, there's a lot of great pictures, and we've done some lives recently, more with my little star Kaylin, who is starting to she's already asked me I guess she's done 2 now. She asked me today, when's our movie day, Mommy? When are we doing our movie? I was like, I'm creating a monster who's aging out quickly, but she has been the muse for the last 3 years, and you see her all over the catalog and our social media stuff. But we have a lot of fun. We're very, very passionately persistent in what we're doing. We lift each other up constantly. But our biggest thing, and supposedly there's going to be all kinds, I think I might have to look at seeing if I can have a tattoo artist come to Fiesta, because supposedly everybody wants to get the arrow with their faith over fear tattoo at Fiesta. So maybe I'll get a henna person to come and do that. Who knows? And you guys can find your own tattoo parlor in Charlotte if you want the real deal. But it's just a really great community. It's and it's wonderful, but this is not get rich quick. This is not sign up and you're going to be, killing it in your first 30, 90 days. There are plenty of companies that you can go do that. I've seen that. And they're what we call the knockoff companies. So, right now, makeup is a big thing. Organic skincare is a big thing. Skincare in general is a big thing. Weight loss is always a big thing, as is essential oils. So if you go and you look at the list of direct sell companies that are starting and that have started in the last 2 years, they're all knockoffs of what's successful. They're all jewelry. They're all leggings. They're all clothes. They're all makeup, like I said. They're all knockoffs. And so they're going out and they're capturing an audience that is unsatisfied with the, whether they're going at a lower price or they're doing, something else. And that those are, definitely, I've seen it. I know you can do it. And if that's something that you get excited about, if you want to do this strictly for the money, then you probably want to look for a different opportunity to get started with, because this is a long haul gig. This is being part of a ground floor opportunity. This is being part of something where you can look at, 5 years down the road, look back and be like, look at me, I'm in the first 200 people that ever signed up to do this. And look at how big my team is now, and look at the part that I get to play in this. So, keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you're doing, that this is, you're part of a startup, you're part of a launch from here. But we'd love for you to join us. But I'm a big believer in full disclosure, and make sure you know what you're getting into before you get into it. So, I don't see any more questions. Thank you guys so much for joining and playing along with me tonight. Again, if you've commented, I'm glad, or if you're commenting on behalf of somebody that you know is super interested, you have from the time I hit that little red finish button until midnight on the West Coast next on Sunday to get your $50 off and to join our merry little band of Fundanoodle ambassadors. So have a great evening. Everybody get planned up for Father's Day, because that's we got to do a good job on Sunday. And I hope you guys are surviving summer, because I'm 3 days in and I about want to lose my mind already. Who thought it was a good idea to not put the 6-year-old into camp and to give her a week just to relax? Who thought that was a good idea? The mom who thought the 14-year-old and the 12-year-old would take care of her, and that has not happened. They're out doing their own thing, going to Carowinds, going to the mall with their friends. Who thought that was a good idea? No. Soccer camp starts next week, though, so I'll be able to be more focused. Anyway, have a great night. We'll see you guys soon, and I hope that you join us. Bye.